Gospelfaith Television. My name is Pastor Ojimba Alex, and with me is a very intellectual and very inspirational man that goes by the name of, what's your name, sir?
Jeff Malone.
His name is Jeff Malone. Nice to meet you, Jeff Malone.
Nice to meet you,
yeah, I just wanted to invite you onto Gospelfaith Television. Now, Jeff is a man that I've spoke to so many times in London. I meet him in different places, but what caught my attention is that Jeff is very intelligent. But every time I see Jeff keeps on telling me he's homeless. He's been telling me this for the past 2 years since I've known him. So that's what's led me to do this interview. So Jeff, can you tell us, are you really homeless?
Yeah, I am. 100%.
100%?
100% homeless.
Yeah.
I'm just. My bed's cardboard.
Look at the camera. Your bed's cardboard.
Cardboard.
Yeah? Okay. Can I ask you one more question, Jeff? Yeah. For how long have you been? You have to focus on the camera. For how long have you been? What's it called again? Homeless? Would you say?
About 10 years.
About 10 years.
10 years.
That's a long time, Mr. Jeff. So, Jeff, could you tell us here, why did you become homeless, or why are you homeless?
It was a series of problems that I had in the past.
You focus on the camera.
I had a few problems with my work situation, business, family, all sorts of things. Mainly partly political as well, but I'm not really going to go into that detail as yet.
No? Okay, so you just want to leave it as in the issue of family, that something happened along the way. So Jeff, England is one of the richest countries in the world. What about food, in terms of food? Are you okay? Would you say you're okay?
With food and that, because they've got handouts and stuff like that, and day centres, you can clean and wash yourself, and there's help, you know what I mean? But
okay. So you eat 3 square meals a day, and everything's okay.
Okay.
So you don't have to go and ask anybody for anything. Okay, that's all right. But Jeff, you know what I was thinking about here? Because obviously I'm Pastor Ojimba Alex, and I'm the founder of Gospel Faith Ministries. But the other day I was thinking about the situation, about this homeless situation, and I thought to myself, you're a young, black, intelligent, British man. And I thought to myself, well, can't the government in this country get you a house?
Well, due to the housing laws changing back in the 1979 with Maggie Thatcher, she changed the housing laws for single males and females.
So you can't apply and get a house anymore?
There is private landlords, but there's only 6 months to a year contract. And sometimes when you go into one of that kind of housing, private accommodation, the landlord can kick you out at any time.
No, but Jeff, because obviously I'm in London. I live in London for it's almost 30 years I've been living in London. But I remember when I first came over in the early 90s, it was 1990 basically, and I went to the council and I applied for a flat, and they gave me a flat straight away. So I've been in my flat. It's a council flat. Yeah, it's a government flat. So you can do the same thing.
I have to be on a list. It's going to take a long time. Then I have to go through the hostel system. Some of the hostels nowadays in London are
very complicated.
It's absolute crap.
Well, what do you mean by crap?
There's drug addicts. There's all sorts of, it's just the environment.
Okay,
good.
Jeff, talking to you about hostels, that's a complete no-no, because I can read your body language and I've listened to the information you've given me. So how about putting your own money, your own finances together and buying your own house? Is that possible? Because people used to buy houses in London in the 60s.
You've got to come up with a 10 to 5% deposit. Then you have to pay legal fees, depending on what property you're gonna get. If there's a flat under 250,000.
But you don't have that kind of money.
No, I don't have that kind of money.
No. So what do you need to do to get that kind of money in London or in England?
You got to be working constantly for the next one. You have to have you and a partner who you living with.
Oh, you must be a footballer, like some superstar footballer, and then it becomes easier. So you don't have no ambitions of buying your own house in this country?
Yes and no. Yes, if I had the money, yes, I will be willing to buy a property in London.
But you don't live in a cuckoo land, like you don't fantasize, because it's not a reality as it is right now. So Jeff, you know what? Yeah, what is it like being in the streets of London? Because sometimes I travel around Europe myself. I've been to Italy and I stayed in the streets there because I didn't have accommodation. I've been to Amsterdam. I stayed in the streets there, but I don't really know exactly what it's like to be in the streets of London. Could you touch on that? Could you emphasize on that?
You're isolated.
You're isolated in what way?
From society in general. It's hard. Some people are kind, some people ain't. It's like a roller. It's just basically a pick and mix in London.
Okay, but Jeff, could you give me like a basic example of when something happened in the street so people can gain from this? Like, give me an example, like where you've been attacked before, you've been insulted, police come up to you.
You get the police coming up to you sometimes. If you're staying in a place whereby it is private property,
and you're not supposed to be there.
You're gonna think. But as long as you, it's a sense is when you're in a place, you find a place, you got, and it's a quiet place, and you don't create trouble.
Then it's okay.
It's okay for, you know what I mean?
But Jeff, there's a lot of rich people that live in England. You know, they got mansions, they got fleet of cars. Don't they call you to say, come and dine with us, come and share with us? It doesn't work that way. Why not? Well, they can't see what you're going through.
If you're a black man in London, you actually got involved with racism, prejudice.
Oh, so you think colour's got something to do with it right now? In what way? In what way does it?
Basically, Britain is the social structure in this country has always been a class and racist society. It's always been built that way, and it hasn't changed. The mentality is still Victorian.
So you're dealing with what you're dealing with, and you find yourself in it. You gotta find yourself out of it as well. It's like a dog-eat-dog world. Would you say that?
I totally
most
agree
definitely.
With you.
Jeff, I want to ask you one more question here. What advice would you give people who want to come over to England from other countries and they don't have nowhere to stay? Because you've got the experience of being homeless, and there could be a man in Ethiopia, or there could be a man in what's it called again, Palermo in Italy, or coming from Libya, and he's coming to England and he's thinking this is a paradise, this is a bed of roses. What advice could you give that man?
That person or that family, they've got to have a good, strong link with their community.
What, they got to have a family here?
Family.
And if they don't have a family here?
The immigration service wants to know what you're doing here, and it's a whole heap of questions, especially with the immigration service.
So, but do you think they can cope with the streets of London? Is it that complicated to be in the streets of London?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. Well, more especially it's getting cold right now. So it's harder to be in the cold in London on the streets than in the summer. In what way, Jeff? Could you elaborate on that?
Well, the cold you get. Well, with me, I'm like, most homeless people got a sleeping bag, blankets, and sometimes you have to use cardboard to keep the ice, from catching cold from the bottom.
Yeah. So Jeff, you know what? Because I see you around a lot of times, and you speak to a lot of people. To me, I don't really see you as a homeless person. I know that's your plight at the moment.
Yeah.
But me personally, I see you as somebody that is very intelligent, someone that can, like a speaker. So with all these talents you've got, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I mean, you got to find a way to come out of your situation right now. You can't be homeless forever.
Obviously.
So in the next 5 years, what can you do for yourself? Are you going to rely on the government?
No, I'm not. I've got a family member who wants to speak to me about certain situations, not my particular problem. And hopefully that person might be coming over.
Yeah, but Jeff, you haven't answered the question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years time, hopefully I'll be off the street.
None about like position-wise. Would you be like I mean, you know, like an entrepreneur, a coach, a teacher? Yeah, good question. Good question.
It's a very good question.
Because there's people that's come out of the streets before, Jeff, and they survived the streets, and now they're working in Canary Wharf, in banks and everything. So you can be an example for someone else.
My situation, like I said, is a bit political. I can't really go into detail about it.
Okay, so you want to keep it private for now?
I want to keep it private for now. But my cousin, he's coming over here, hopefully to come and see me, because this problem that I'm in is pretty complicated, and I don't really want to get into it.
Yeah, but what does your cousin do? How can your cousin help you? What does he do?
He's in the US military.
Oh, so he's a successful man. Okay, so that's your best bet for now. You're relying on that
at the moment.
Okay, but you can't go to like Theresa May, or you can't go to the British government and say I'm homeless. Could you get me out of this situation? No. Or you can't go to a footballer like Pogba and say, Pogba, you're a good footballer, can you lend me £50,000 then?
No.
No, but we're all black here. Or Rashford, and say to Rashford, lend me £50,000 because I'm homeless out here.
No, the thing about it is, my brother, let's be realistic. Not every black person is like as generous.
But I was thinking if Pogba and Rashford, if they put money together, they can get you off the streets. That's like black helping black. That's Black Britain, isn't it?
Not really.
No?
Black Britain, in terms of black people,
and Sterling, Man City, these are black people that can put money together and help their own country.
They are a totally different world from where me and you are at the moment.
Okay.
Their world and my world is two different worlds.
Okay, Jeff, I wanted to ask you also, that's non-realistic. So Jeff, I wanted to ask you one more question. So what is the future of black people in England and where are we heading to? Because Jeff, what I'm trying to say to you, an intelligent man like you, when I see you in the streets, Jeff, it boggles my mind. And if there's one black man like you on the streets in England, that means there's thousands of black men in the streets of London, in other places as well. So where are we heading to in England? Where are we heading to? What's our future?
It's gotta be bad. In terms of, we stay on the British law and their laws, they're gonna scrap the economic certain laws do equality in this country.
Who's they?
I'm talking about the British government.
Okay. So you think, but it's not because they're targeting black people, is it? They're not targeting black people. It's just a situation that some black people have found themselves in.
It's gonna go more right wing.
What's right wing, please?
I.e., gonna get more harder for us.
Well, who's us? Black people. Why do you say that, brother? Speak up, I'm trying to find the right words. No, but just flow, because you're in a situation yourself. You could help someone else.
The reason being, right, that we're not together as a community, not as we were back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s.
Okay.
We've lost our way.
How did we lose this? What disunited us?
The system has let some of us in, and some of us have forgotten where we come from.
We've forgotten where we come from?
Some of us.
So this would take me to slavery now. Do you think slavery has taken a lot out of black people?
If you go back to the William Lynch thing, yeah, it has.
The who?
Willie Lynch.
What's the Willie Lynch?
Willie Lynch papers is 70s, 76. There was a meeting amongst a group of white people who wanted to keep black people down, and it's been a black on black situation.
Seriously?
Right across the.
So you think it's affecting us in this country till today?
Not only here, United States, all over the world.
Seriously? That's why I'm proud to interview a young and intelligent black British man called Jeff. But Jeff, you know what? The other day I was reading a book on black history, and I came across a group of people called the Moors. And someone told me that the Moors used to live in England. But who are these Moors?
They're not really Moors. They're called Albimecs. They come from west coast of Africa.
Yeah.
They were traders. They used to have castles all over Europe.
What year was this year?
We're talking about just before about the 1500s.
No.
1250. They had castles in Scotland.
Yeah.
Certain parts of Britain.
So Jeff, are you trying to tell me that black people have lived in Europe before slavery?
Yeah.
How?
We used to travel.
No, but they never lived there because the Europeans went over to Africa and brought them over here.
No.
What happened?
There was black people used to do trading in Europe. Some of us lived in Europe. Some black people lived in North America, South America, Central America. We were trading all over the world. The Albimecs.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So that's something people have to do a research and then they can look up. So black people have been traveling all over the world right from the beginning.
From the beginning.
So can I ask you a question? Black people and white people, who lived in Europe first?
We did.
Sorry?
We were the first people. We traveled all over. Obviously, there was Europeans here.
Yeah.
But most Europeans come from the Caucasus Mountains, which is in Georgia.
Seriously?
Georgia in Russia.
Okay, I want to ask you one more question, Jeff. Here, won't you think it would be worth your while to go to a church Because the churches, they're missionaries in this country and they deal with charity. So if you go there and you say to them, I'm homeless, I need some help, this is what I'm going through, there could be a pastor in the church there that can look into your case. Because that's what they do, isn't it? That's the church of Jesus Christ.
Like I said, my situation